Hello everyone, I Karl Marathe welcome you all to a session on career management. It's a very important topic for those who are now across the school days and junior college days, and it is also important for those students who have joined some degree course or the other. They are undergraduates or maybe just graduated afresh. Right career ensures high success of life. For a bulb to glow, the right plug has to be in the right socket. Without that, the connection cannot be made. What is a career? Why do you seek a particular career? And can doing nothing be a career? Now, there are many questions which are related to career management. We find that a lot of youngsters get confused. Sometimes their capabilities are such that they cannot make a career of their choice. There are various factors, and we shall try and identify the problem areas. So, how do you define a career? A career is a set of activities which are undertaken for a sizable time period in one's life. They may be of our interest, and they also aim at mostly getting some emoluments for good sustenance of life. And in pursuing that career, one requires certain competencies, one requires to develop certain skills, traits, knowledge, and their application. Because of two reasons. That it is the competencies that allow you to seek admission into a career. And second, in order to be successful in that career, our performance output has to be adequate, and that requires skills, knowledge, competencies, and application. Sometimes it so happens that people get into a career for which they do not have much liking. It is basically for the sake of getting emoluments, a comfort zone, financial comfort zone for which they get into a career. But since they do not have liking, the entire career becomes a drag. And when it becomes a drag, obviously their performance output gets adversely affected. And then these people fall by the wayside. They get frustrated. Let me give you some facts through observations. Look at the large number of students who, after graduation, do not know what exactly to do. The employment ecosystem is such that they do not get absorbed in any career. They do not find suitable employment. And then they start targeting competitive examinations like the civil services. And since they do not have the right competency, year after year that they attempt, they keep on meeting with failures and finally frustrations. Through a scientifically researched test, I have tested many students who were the aspirants of civil services. And those tests indicated certain flaws in their capabilities. Now, unless they make up these flaws, it is impossible to get into civil services. 65% of Indian engineers do not find right employment. 60% of the MBAs are employed in jobs which are way below their degree of MBA. Results of CA and CS examinations are very, very tough. And a lot of people keep on trying, even for ICWA, and they do not get through. That results into frustrations again. Those who take admissions in various graduation institutions, graduation colleges, or even those who graduate, they are fairly hazy about their actual career path. Realistically speaking, the right career path should be decided when a student is sometimes or somewhere in the zone of 9th standard or 10th standard. That is when one needs to check own competencies, own likings, and decide on a career path and go hell for leather in achieving those marks that will allow them entry into those colleges which will allow them or offer them the careers of their choice. Let me draw a small diagram for you all to explain to you how does a career get selected, or how should a career get selected. The first and foremost is the liking. I am just writing L for liking or interest in that particular career, or the dream that they see about a particular career. The second factor is of competency. I'll write C for that. Competency of a person, firstly to enter a career, and secondly to sustain and be successful in a career. Third is the academic ecosystem. Academic ecosystem. What do I really mean by academic ecosystem? We have engineering colleges, we have medical colleges, we have management colleges, and there an entrance exam is taken in different forms, and there are some set number of seats available. In the employment ecosystem or academic ecosystem for admissions, if one does not make the grade within the number of vacancies that particular ecosystem holds, it is impossible to take admission into a particular stream. Fourth is the family environment. I'll tell you a small incident. A girl from a very orthodox family was interested in getting into dramatics, acting. She used to participate in dramatics in her school days, and she was fairly good at it. But the orthodox family never wanted her to get into that particular career. So here her liking, her dream, her interest clashed against the family environment, and so she had to seek some other career. Fifth is the economic consideration. Economic consideration. Here again I would like to tell you what happened to a student. I used to conduct these career guidance tests in manual mode some years back. A student approached me and requested me to give him a career counseling. So I said, I can only give you career counseling provided you take this test, so that I will know your strengths and weaknesses. That boy agreed. He took that test. After taking the test, it used to take me 3-4 days to analyze the responses and the results. This boy had given his 12th exam. He had also given his CETs for medical as well as engineering. Surprising. I had called him for counseling on a particular day. Between his taking the test and his date of counseling, the 12th standard results had been declared. He came into my office and I explained to him that look, his scores are such that he can opt for engineering career or medical career. His competencies dictate that. Now it's up to him to choose his liking, and I explained to him what these careers mean. After having heard me, this boy said, "Sir, my 12th results are out and I have obtained a super distinction and I have also scored very well in the engineering as well as medical CET. So I'm sure I can get admission into engineering or medical." I said, "Then make a choice." But he said, "I do not belong to a category that will allow me to take admissions without paying fees or paying subsidized fees. And my father cannot afford to pay yearly fees which were for a free seat at that time, because his scores were such that he would have got admissions in free seats." He says, "Now there is a problem. What do I do?" To his good luck, the same day an advertisement had appeared in the newspaper that for merchant navy engineers, a company was starting a course in which the tuition fees were excused, being the first batch, and a person was supposed to pay only for his lodging and boarding and whatever other equipment that they have, which was not much. When I explained to him, I gave him the address. This boy applied there, got selected, joined Merchant Navy in engineering stream, passed out, and joined as an engineer on Merchant Navy ship. Imagine the pay and allowances that they receive. His entire family's economic condition changed. So these are the factors that matter, and so the career star that we are talking about is based on these 5 basic factors. But there are 2 more factors, and those are little dangerous. We think of something called scope. Is there a scope? In a country like India, there is no career which does not have a scope. If one shows real good competence, real interest, and shows outputs, the scope is always there. Second and more dangerous part is what is called the prestige. Prestige, the social recognition and peer pressures that act as, I will call them, spoil sports in choosing a career. What is there to think about the prestige? Anybody who does any job well has all the right to succeed, earn fair amount of money, and obviously with that the socio-cultural status certainly goes up. So this is one aspect of the factors that lead to choosing a career. Let me give you another dimension. In a country like ours, when we talk about competencies towards choosing a career, pursuing a career, and attaining our dreams or interest, there are two streams. One, where marks are scored for admission, and the second, where marks are not scored for admission. So these are the students who do not score marks, these are the students who score marks. Then for the students who score required marks, admission is available on merit. I write here admission. Admission is available on merit. Now, those who do not score marks, obviously, there is no admission on merit. So, admission on merit for these students is not possible. Not on merit. But then, do these students have finances to pay for, or they do not have the finances to pay for? Finance is not available. Even to those who get admission, there are two streams. The normal finances that are required, the fees, are not available, and finances required for the fees are available. Those who do not secure admission based on their merits but have the finances, and those who secure admission on their merit and have the finances to pay the normal fees, they both join the course. Join. Now here they follow two streams. Those who did not have the competency but have joined the stream may complete the course but fall by the wayside. And the one who has the competency during the course, I am talking about the competency during the course, I am not talking about the competency during admission. That is over. Admissions have been secured. But those who show competency, they develop themselves, perform, show an output, they progress straight to their destined dreams. And others have to then find, those who cannot secure admissions, have to find different career paths. Now this is what it is, and most of the time the people in these groups are very high in number, and that is where the problem lies. Let me come back to the next issue. Today, after 10th, you have multiple streams. Science stream, commerce stream and art stream. These are the known conventional streams. Then there is a fourth stream, and that is of fine arts or performing arts. And there is a fifth stream, and that is of vocational training after 10th. Some people join diplomas. For fine arts and performing arts, one really requires those specialized skills to do well. From science, commerce and arts, students pass out of 12th board exam. We are right now in that particular situation that the 10th results are out, the 12th results had been declared a few days back, and then some students can enter professional streams based on their merit or based on the financial backup that they have. Now these professional streams are many: engineering, medical, maybe law, maybe computers like BCA, maybe BBA, management, maybe physiotherapy, maybe pharmacy. These are all professional streams, and there are many. And from commerce stream also, people go on for graduation. From art stream also, they go on for graduation. Commerce people, while graduating, also attempt to do their CA, and by the time they pass out as graduates, they just have one or final exam of CA left. Now after 12th, there are some other courses which today in the socio-cultural ecosystem have come up and are well paying. Something like animation, web designing, and there are some technicians who earn mediocre emoluments. So after 12th also there are vocations available. Now after graduation from any stream, whether science, arts or commerce, BSc, BCom, BA, there is a huge plethora of careers which require only graduation. Something like multi-avenue general careers, be it the civil services at state level or at UPSC level. Armed forces, then airport management courses. An airport is a very complex place, and so many aspects of administration and management are needed there that there are multiple jobs that get generated. Some people get into aircraft industry as pursers, air hostesses, flight supervisors. There is a huge list of careers, but each career has a requirement of a qualification, of a specific course to be attended. It requires some competencies which one needs to develop right from childhood. But those who are already into some courses, undergraduates, they need to realize as to whether they are suitable for the stream that they are following, and if not, then what should be their approach to become suitable, obviously by enhancing competencies. Now, how do you check your interests? There is a difference between a hobby and a profession. Just a few days back, a girl who had given our career guidance test, during the counseling she said that she was interested in playing piano. So I said, why don't you make a career in piano, in music? So she said, I'm not interested in making a career in that, but I'm interested in making a career, and I wish to seek admission into that stream where I can work and still I will have enough time to spare for my piano. I said, that's a tall order. The moment you become a professional, there will be demands of heavy workload. You will be required to work extra time. You will be so tired that you won't be able to play your piano regularly, and sometimes not even on weekends. So do not mix up these two things, I told her. You aim at a career and keep piano as a hobby. As and when you get time, a leisure time, you can play that piano. In any case, you do not want to make that as your career. Talking about interest, let me tell you that many students, many youngsters do not know what a career has in it in terms of work. When you talk about interest, it is not that the work will offer you a new thing every day, a new type of work every day. Most of the jobs are repetitive every day for many years. Would you like to home on to such repetitive work? If that be so, then some careers are not suitable for you. I asked students who were trying to get into civil services competitive examinations, and I asked, what exactly do you want out of it? And most of them said, we are enamored by the power that gets attached to a particular position. We are enamored by our friends and relatives praising us all the time whenever we meet them. And some people also told me that they are enamored by that light that they flash above their cars, staff cars, the government cars. And those who are aiming at joining the armed forces, they are enamored by the uniform. These do not stay for very long. These do not stay for very long. I suggest that somebody may be doing BBA or somebody may be doing BCA. That person needs to ask himself or herself, what is my finality in terms of degrees, qualifications, and what kind of job that I would love to do? And is this career path leading me to that type of job which may or may not be repetitive? I talked about social prestige and peer pressure. What is it? There was a boy, after having given our career guidance test, and he had scored fairly good marks. He said, I would like to join IIT, and I have already filled up JEE forms, joint entrance exam forms. I said, that's wonderful, there is no problem. But he also added, he said that after having qualified in IIT, I would like to open a restaurant. I said, if that be so, then why are you not going to hotel management stream? It will help you to run your restaurant in a more effective and efficient manner. Why do you want the degree, BTech degree from IIT? He said, there is a great prestige attached to it. And IITian is looked up to by the society at large as somebody who is really great and good. I said, but finally you will end up opening a restaurant. Then what will they say? Half of them will say that he has wasted his IIT knowledge and degree. How much of it will be applicable in running a restaurant, I really do not know. But more than that boy, it was his father who couldn't read a single line of English, was more interested in his son doing IIT. Now, what do you call this? Isn't that a peer pressure? Just because some uncle, auntie, somebody in close relations, they suggest some career that you get into a career, or just because your friends are joining a particular college and a particular stream, that's why you want to join that career or that stream, is absolutely dangerous. Going down the line a few years later, such people may land into a zone of frustration and they won't be able to handle it. Let me tell you, I was talking about competency checks. Every career requires some basic competencies which, while pursuing that career, after getting selected into that particular stream, those competencies can be developed. I'll just give you a few examples. It's not possible to cover every career. Like, for a person who is wanting to join the armed forces as an officer, what are the basic competencies that that person requires? He should be bold, he should be courageous, he should be cooperative, he should have analytical abilities. His communication should be good because he's going to command troops and his communication should be good. He has to be decisive. He has to display flexibility because the moment situation changes, he has to change his plans. He has to have good comprehension to understand the orders given by the seniors and analyze the impact. He has to have good risk-taking capability. He has to have spatial ability. I don't find very many youngsters developing their spatial abilities. He requires logic. He has to be very hardworking. He has to have creativity because he has to make creative plans. And he has to be very, very robust. Now, unless you have these qualities in some measure, you might not get selected to the stream called armed forces. Now look at the civil services. The person in the civil services has to have good analytical ability because he has to find civil administrative solutions, analyzing the problems. He has to have good comprehension, good memory, good recall. His communications have to be good. He has to be a balanced personality to be an officer in the administration. He has to have planning ability, reasoning, logic, and of course, he might have to work very hard, spending overtime in the office, particularly, during disastrous times. And an engineer requires analytical ability, logic, reasoning, memory, recall, comprehension, a good spatial ability to design things. He has to have logic and reasoning. And these skills are required at a fairly high level for a student in 12th, because the student in 12th might score marks in CETs and might get admission. But if his mathematical ability, his mathematical brain has not been developed, his spatial ability is not developed, he cannot undertake graphics and he might not get through the mathematics paper. And then there are backlogs and there are ear downs and what have you. And what does a lawyer need? He needs tremendous amount of comprehension and memory, needs to have previous cases and incidences on his fingertips, and he must have recall ability to quote them at the right time. He has to have good written and verbal communication skills, good logic and good reasoning to win his cases. Now these are just some examples that I thought I must bring out to you. Today we are in the second or going into the third decade of 21st century. 21st century requires some specific skills, and The students need to develop these skills right from their school days, and they must keep checking their skills to check whether they are on the right track. Firstly, the type of knowledge required for that profession. They must have trilingual ability of written and verbal communication. They should be sociable and they must have balanced thoughts. And today, computer literacy of a moderate level has almost become compulsory. Without that, one can't survive. Irrespective of which professional stream that you follow, one must have sufficient computer literacy. One needs to learn problem-solving techniques through analytics, logic, reasoning. One should be able to define the problem correctly, define the parameters of the problem, and then come out with multiple possible solutions, and should be in a position to pick up the best possible solution which has a higher degree of success possible. The general awareness needs to be right. The general awareness regarding economics, socio-cultural aspects, political aspects, security aspects, technical and business environment, as well as the environmental science. One must have a fair knowledge of own country's history and geography. Now let me deal with an issue which is very, very important. Time sense has to be nurtured, developed right from the beginning, and those who are attending colleges, it is high time that they developed their time sense, because effort time cost relationship has to be properly worked out in every field, be it technical field, be it administrative field, be it commercial field. Hard work, determination and robustness and a sense of competitiveness, these are the 21st century skills which one cannot neglect. What do we advise at Intelkey Systems and Solutions Private Limited? We advise students to take career guidance tests. The career guidance test gives entire analysis on strengths and weaknesses of more than 30 skills and trait levels. It should be taken while a child is in 10th and 12th, and it should also be taken by the undergraduates, because that declares your abilities, the strong abilities and the weak abilities, and one can decide on developing those weak abilities. And for that, more than the suggestions of the career, it is this analysis that is highly important. We have called this career guidance test Jeevan Disha because it actually shows you direction. It gives direction to your life. Through this test, you might get an idea to switch over from your stream to some other stream, or pursue careers not specialized to your streams but generic multi-dimensional careers. Remember, you are the plug. You need to identify the right socket and make the connection, and only when this right plug called you gets into the right socket called the right career stream, that the electric power connection will be made and your bulb will really glow. Having said that, you can write to us. I will write the contact details on the board. You can note them down. You can mail us at support, all small case, at Entelki, ENTELKI .in, support at entelki.in, or you can ring up on 727 6050 987 or 8600 900 176 or 9823 980 987. You can ring up anytime. You can speak to any of us, ask your questions, ask your doubts, clear the haze in your mind, and we will put you on the right track. Of course, the efforts are yours. You will have to make efforts to come up to the level to get into that particular stream. And let me assure you, there is no stream that is good or bad. Every stream is good provided you progress on that path properly and attain success. Thank you. Wish you all the best. Wish you a good success in your careers. God bless. Thank you.